Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. How are you doing? Hope you're good. Bit nippy today, ain't it, outside? Just got back from walking dog. Wow. Right then, today it shouldn't be too long, this video. Just got a few more selections for Cheltenham for you. So, yeah. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, just a few more bets. We'll kick off then, we'll get straight into it. Mare's Hurdle. Now, I like Lossiemouth, we like Lossiemouth. We're on her. I think she'll take the beating here. She should win. But I've been patiently waiting for the without market for this horse. And I think we'll still likely play her in that. But the price, it's just simply too big. I can't. It's too good a value bet, this, I think, to kind of not have. So I've just caved in with this. We'll have a little each way on her now. It'll be nice cover anyway for Lossiemouth. And the horses tell me something, girl. We'll just have a point each way. I've had 28 to 1 at 365, but that's in the Ante-post market. It's generally 20 to 1 non-runner now bet. But I think that extra 8 points in this case, I think it's worth it, so I played her in that. Each way 28 to 1. She's not entered for anything else, so providing she don't step on a stone or anything, we should be good. I think it's worth the risk there. Now, she was devastatingly impressive in that Mare's Novice Hurdle, weren't she, a few years ago. The year after, Henry sort of brought her back to the boil perfectly again for the Mare's Hurdle. Rachel rode her like she was a steering job, keeping her wide out of trouble there. So we thought. But a horse came down in front of her and sort of rolled in front of her and brought her down. And she was absolutely swinging at the time. About 2 or 3 out. In fact, only recently I read an interview. She did an interview there, or I think it might have been Kenny Alexander actually, and he revealed that, when she was debriefing connections after the race, she told him it weren't if but how far, Now, she didn't take to chasing last year, despite her looks, and she looked much happier this season back over hurdles. She's always needed a first run of the season, and in that context, she ran an encouraging sort of 4th of 8, beaten 11.5 lengths behind Jatara in a Grade 3 mares race. In her next run, I thought she stepped up markedly on that. She dropped to 2 mile in the Grade 3 Limestone Lad. She was no match for Zarat the Brave there, but she kept him honest and ran all the way to the line, beaten just over a length, and they were miles clear of the 3rd. Now, she's just one of these horses that Henry's brilliant with. He'll have her ready to run for her life, like one day a year. And she looks very much to me like she's ready to peak again for Cheltenham. Now, of the opposition, I do really like Ashrow Diamond. You're taking Lossiemouth out of it. I really like Ashrow Diamond. She's very pacey and she's got no Cheltenham form, and I just wonder about the track for her. She might be fine on it, but I don't know. You don't know, do you? I do think if anything kind of beats Lossiemouth, it will probably be her. But equally, you couldn't really 100% trust her, could you? She could run a poor race here and just not handle the track or whatever, the occasion. I don't know. And then the next in the betting, you get to Love Envoy, who has been in bad form for me this season. We've seen her twice, and yeah, she's looked well below last season to me. I mean, obviously, if she can repeat last season's run in this behind Honeysuckle, that'd give every chance. But I think, you know, I think you're taking a bit of a leap of faith, if you like, that she's still that horse. She's got it to prove for me anyway. Echoes in Reigns next in. Really? We're still beating that drum? I don't know. Not for me. Not in this. Puncher style maybe, yeah. Golmaso, yeah, Golmaso blew out yesterday. Came as a bit of a shock really how that one ran. And you get to sort of 20 to 1s. You're like Marie's Rock, you could maybe make a case for her. She's won this previous, hasn't she? She did win last time out. I do think that were a poor race. She ran terribly in this last year, and I'm just not sure about her. I'm not sure. Henry's got a couple of mares in this. He's got some nice mares, hasn't he? We've seen recently Hispanic Moon yesterday won well. And Langtree Lady at the weekend, she looks a fine chasing type. She won really nice. Both in sort of bad ground. I'm not sure if they'll send Langtree Lady. I've got a feeling they might hold her back, keep her in Ireland for something. Hispanic Moon, though, I think should go here. But Rachel, I think, will be on Tell Me Something Girl. And she's got the track form, you know. I do expect Lossiemouth to take this. But I think Tell Me Something Girl will be right in the mix behind her. Kind of trying to right the wrong of a couple of years back. You know, she's 9 now. Is she going to be the same force as she were a couple of years ago? I don't know, but she's lightly enough raced, and I'm sure she's just going to run a massive race there. I fancy her to sort of fill the frame anyway. And yeah, I just think she's massively overpriced. I think she'll be like half those odds, and she could even be single figures on the day. So yeah, we will probably play it in the without market, I think, but I'm happy enough to have a little bit each way at the 28s. So we'll do that. I'm always going to be on her, to be honest with you. After watching how she's run this season, you know, some horses, you know, you've got to be on, don't you? And she's one of them. She'd have the mad price, I think, really mad price. I do think she'll be a lot shorter. Right, and then a couple for the handicaps. Now, I've still not really had time to get into these in any depth yet, but you know, I keep having a flick through when I can, and a couple sort of caught my eye a little, and I've backed them. The first one there comes in the Potemps, and it's Claytus Poulaw. We'll have 2 points on him, 9 to 1, 365, non-runner no bet. The non-runner no bet's important for this one. It's Gordon Elliott. Gordon Elliott's got a fantastic record in this race. He's entered up in the qualifier on Sunday at Naas, I think it is. I think this horse, I think they've always held it in some regard. This Claytus Poulaw. And he seemed a little disappointing on his first few runs, I think. But he did finish behind Daddy Longlegs and Ballyburn. I think Daddy Longlegs were a good horse on the day that day, and obviously Ballyburn. The last time out, so eased in class a bit, but I was impressed how he stayed on in that final furlong or so over 2-2. He looks all over a stayer to me. And he looks like a horse to me who's just sort of coming to himself. I think he might be one to keep on side for the rest of the season. If you remember, I sort of said that around the time. He might now be ready to fulfil that potential that I think they thought he had, Now, the Irish handicap has given him a mark of 130, which I think looks nice. That, I'm sure they thought this were better than 130 horse. I think he will be a better than 130 horse. Ideally for Sunday, he'll be stepping up quite drastically in trip from 2-2 to 3 mile. It does look all over a stale though, and he's entitled to be sort of held up in the rear to sort of get the trip, and ideally you'd just like to see him staying on into never near a third or fourth there. So if that part goes well, even if the British handicapper puts him up like 6 or something, he'd still be only 136, which I think looks nice. Gordon's also got Fruit Delane entered here. I think he'd be off a mark of around 152, which means this lad would be sort of 10 stone 10. Jack Kennedy on board. I can see it. Gordon took this with Delta work. It was only a 5-year-old, but he'd had a couple more runs. This fella's a 6-year-old. Obviously, Delta work. He went off mark of 139. He ended up like Gold Cup type class horse. But I do. If this guy's going to be that good, I don't know. He's got that to prove, but I think he's got the potential to be. I can see him in the RSA next year like a Browns. I can see him making up into a Browns horse for next year. And, you look through this Pertemps. I haven't had a deep look into it yet. But there's nothing, it don't look overly strong, I wouldn't have said. He's got the potential, he could go off like a well-backed favourite. So we'll just have a couple of points on him at the 9s. Definitely non-runner no bet, because he does need a few things to go right to even get there, doesn't he? And then the last one then, Martin Pipe. I love this race, I do. This is one of my favourite handicaps. Now, I played about with this sort of. Basically, I backed all the Mullins horses a little while ago. I just think Willie's novices this year, he's got so many, he's got them coming out of his ears, anti-novices. If you look at like the Supreme, the Ballymore, the Albert Bartlett even, he's got like 3 out of the first 4 in the betting in all those races, and he's got interest in other horses in there as well. There's got to be a fair chance he's got a nice novice for this. So yeah, I've been backing kind of all of them, then sort of cashing him out as a go and sort of narrowing it down, but we're not really doing that here, so I've got to be kind of fairly certain when I put one up here. I think for most of these handicaps, we'll probably have 2 darts at most of them. I don't want to have any more than that. Maybe 1 if we can find one with a strong one for one race. And we'll probably have like 3 points and 2 or 4 points and 2. If I can find a really strong fancy at nice odds, we might have a little lash on that, but not every year there's a horse like that for me, the horse anyway, Mr. Giffey's not here, is he? So we've got that 3 points back. We're going to have 2 points on Cade de Bourbon at 9-1, again 365 non-runner no bet. He had 2 runs in France, he's had 2 runs for Willie, winning both those starts. And for this race, I like a horse that you can see becoming like a graded class chaser. We've seen the likes of Don Polly, Galloping Deschamps, Banbridge take this Martin Pipe. And to me, this Cader Bourbon looks all over an RSA type. He looks a little in the Don Polly sort of mould. He's rated 140. I think he's sure to get in, and I think he's sure to run here. I did look at the sort of just outright markets, but you're not really getting enough on that, like maybe a point. So we may as well take the non-runner no bet. Yeah, he does look like a horse to me who's got a ton of improvement in him. He does. I've been fairly cautious there with the points, but I don't want to really commit to making one of them our main selection just yet until we can have a look a bit more depth in the race. But these two horses, should they line up, I'm happy enough. You know, I've seen enough of them to be happy to be on them for at least like a secondary bet. They could become our main selection, and in which case we'll top up at probably shorter odds, like, which is what I mean. If you do have the option of cashing out, you can put more on them and then play about with it. You can do partial cash outs or trading backs and stuff. I'll go a little easy on it. Don't be throwing like hundreds on all these horses if you value your accounts anyway. Like, you know, they're probably not like you back in 5 or 6 for one race and then playing about too much with it. So yeah, that's that then. Them 3 selections. Tell Me Something Girl, Cader Bourbon, and Clayton's Pool are there. Alright, next few days I'll be sort of busying through the handicaps, hopefully in my spare time as much as I can. If I find anything out, I'll let you know. Videos will become a bit sporadic now. I might see you tomorrow, it might be a few days, or it might be a week, I don't know. But if I find anything, I'll let you know. Them sort of day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 previews, I don't think the final fields are certain enough to be able to sort of go into too much depth about the races, you know, just yet. So that'll probably come the week before, to be honest. So that'll be a busy week for us, won't it? But all good. Right, so that's it for today then. Thanks for your time. I do appreciate it. I'll see you again soon. Bye.